Adam Contos here, Remax World Headquarters. I'm here with the one and only John Cheplack. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. It's good to spend day 2 with you.
Day 2, yeah. Yesterday we tore it up. We took and ran our brains through the grinder and came up with some amazing growth ideas. Put some incredible ideas on the board. Talked to our team here at Remax headquarters. We even had the Gary Ashton come in yesterday. And
guest appearance of Gary. Imagine that.
That's right. So, hey, we got a few people watching. I see Justin Havers on. Hey, buddy, how are you, man?
What's up, Justin?
Mike Novak. We've got John Wentworth. Andrea Cardenas. Good morning. We got Sunit. We got Tom Davis. We got some people showing up here.
All right.
Right on. So
we better bring it.
Yeah, we're going to bring it. So we've got John here. You're going to be on Start with a Win, my podcast here at Remax World Headquarters. I wanted to call something out here, though. So you're sporting the the Denver Broncos hat today. I love it. It's amazing. It's a little bit of a somber day for the city of Denver and for the Broncos. We lost the owner of the Denver Broncos last night, Pat Bolin. So our thoughts and prayers to his family and to the team. But that's a good.
I like the look. I think it works.
I like it. That's awesome. So and the flat brim, very very John Cheplack.
Yeah. I've been cheplacked, as Gary Ashton says, by Adam Contos.
That's it. So we're gonna talk about growing a business. Mm-hmm. We're gonna talk about personal growth. Just kind of holistic aspects of that. Before we jump into this, do you have any real quick pointers for us?
Well, I think that the most critical thing, it's talked about, but if you look at people that really want to grow their business, the first thing that I think people need to identify is it's that personal development stuff. It's the highest return on investment that you're going to get in business is on your personal development, which is that mind, body, spirit piece. And it shows up every single time. We can talk strategies and tactics and we'll get there, but it's number one. It's number
foundation.
One. Absolutely. 100%.
That's awesome. Cool. All right, producer Mark, you on here, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Are you guys ready to rock?
We are
ready
to rock,
man. Let's get into it, dude.
Fire it up.
All right, cool.
Quiet on the set. Atop of the 12th floor of the Remax World Headquarters, you're listening to Start with a Win with CEO Adam Contos.
I like that music.
Oh, yeah. And top of the 12th floor, Adam Contos here, CEO of Remax. Start with a Win, our amazing podcast with some amazing guests. And we have with us here in studio today, producer Mark. What's up, buddy?
It's a beautiful day in Denver. I got no complaints.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. You're doing amazing as usual.
So good.
So good. I love it. And we got a very special guest from out of town. He came in a couple days ago. He spent all day yesterday with us.
Hanging out with the Remax crew?
With the Remax crew.
Nice.
There was some intensity. There was some talk of growth. There was, there may have been some push-ups in the process here. So we've got with us John Cheplack. How you doing, brother?
I'm so good, man. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Right on. Well, we are honored to have you here. Man, you are like the world traveler as well. You're out growing businesses, and you're a coach. You help people realize where they need to go, both personally as well as professionally. In the real estate industry and outside of it, and you see people Xing their business, not just incrementally teeny tiny growth aspects of it. You see people Xing their business because they're getting it all together. Is that what kind of what you start with? Is where are we at as a whole? Tell us when somebody starts coaching with you, when you go, hey, I can help you grow your business, because they come to you and go, John, please, and I know there's a line at your door. You get people applying to your business constantly saying, John, can you coach me? Can you coach me? And they're lined up. What do you say to them when you have that first conversation?
Well, it's beautiful because it happened in the garage before I came up.
Oh, wow.
A gentleman inquired, and very productive team in the East Coast. And he said, what's important to you, and we go through that mutual discovery process. And I said, well, first of all, what I'll share with you is number one, where did you come from? I'm open-minded, but when you come from a sphere of influence or some of the already existing masterminds that some of my clients are currently in, that for me, in looking at a value match and a vision match, that's the first piece. The second piece that's most critical is, why do you want to grow? What's the reason? And if it's, I want to live like a rapper, which is cool. I don't care if someone wants to live like a rapper and all, but if there's not something underneath it that's foundational from a holistic space, becoming, whether it's a better friend, a better parent, but a better spouse, living a whole life, if there's not something that money is tied to, in other words, when I say it's not tied to, I don't mean a big why, which overwhelms people. We talked about that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean something that gets them to recognize real estate is not who you are. It's what you do to experience who you are at the highest level. And so if that can be bridged and it connects with them, that's a big one from a visioning standpoint, not just numbers. And then the other big kicker, like this gentleman, certainly, as you know, we keep confidentiality with folks, is the more transparent they come in, the more that I know it's an absolute yes that we can work together. But as you've observed in working real closely and hanging around my crew, is that the ones that are willing to go vertical, deep within themselves instead of horizontal, they will outperform everyone in their numbers, because the numbers aren't normal that are happening.
Oh no, they're not. It's crazy, but you're just not scratching the surface. And that's what I'm hearing you get to here is, a lot of people come in and they look at, okay, what surface changes to my business can I make in order to increase business? And really, they only see surface change then. It's, you, like when you and I, and we've known each other for, 5 years or so, and are very familiar with each other's thought process and lifestyles and things like that. And it's, it always begins deep down inside that builds your foundation. It's, how your feet hit the ground every morning, as opposed to, okay, what's going to ring the cash register today? So, and I noticed that about you. You don't look at people and go, all right, how many customers do you have coming in the door? That's not your first question. That's almost your last question, because that happens when you get all the rest of this together. And I noticed, I've been blessed to be in your inner circle, the coaching clients, and you coach me as well. Just, so everybody is aware out there in listener land and on Facebook Live. He's one of my coaches. It's pretty amazing to look at. You think about family, you think about relationships, you think about, okay, who are you surrounding yourself with? That old Jim Rohn saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. And even to the point of, how's your diet? How's your how's your head today? Are you getting up, opening your eyes to a smile or to a frown, and things like that? So it's so cool to see you take and just peel that onion until you get to practically nothing within the human being, and then you start putting it back together. Why does that? What got you to that point in coaching? Because you see a lot of coaches running and go, all right, how can I help your business? Because they're looking for a transactional relationship. You're deeper than that, man.
Sure. It goes back to one of my mentors and what they'd shared with me, and I had to go through my own discovery. I'd heard the words and kind of used the words too. I had to go through some experiential stuff, but it holds so true is there's nothing going on privately that won't show up publicly.
Oh, that's deep.
At some point in time. And then going even deeper into it is our sicknesses and our secrets. And just like as we were sharing with the great leadership team and the business development folks yesterday, is that it's about the personal human experience. We're in the moment creation business. And if there are things that are missing for us in our relationships, personally, professionally, significant others, we're not going to perform at the highest level. And so I was taught that, and then as I moved through my life and came to understand that, yes, I had business success, but there was another piece that needed to mature, and that was emotional maturity. And when you take a look at having that emotional maturity, that ability to connect, then you can build community. But in that, you've got to be what you say you are.
Oh, yeah. You can't live a lie.
You can't live a lie.
That's it.
And so through my own experiences, my places in life where I stumbled, fortunately, that was my classroom that I chose to use the contrast of that versus many folks. If you're listening and you're going through a struggle or you've got some history that's gotten in your way, don't let it be your story. Let it be your history.
So let's unpack that real quick, because we have a lot of people. Well, everybody has history, right? Yeah. Everybody has that shadow that they kind of, they try to avoid. What I got from you is just shine a light on the thing and get past it instead of hiding from it. Do you find that is a good way of, just admit it and move on and go find something better? Because that's, we see people enter our business lives as partners, as customers, things like that. And you look at somebody, you go, they're unhappy. Yeah. How, and if you're unhappy and they're unhappy, that's like, that's two bad things crashing into each other. You can't help them and they can't help you, and it just doesn't end up well anyway. How do you, and that seems to be the starting point of a lot of people who are trying to turn their business around. What quick pointers do you have for somebody when it comes to realizing and moving on from that?
Well, the first thing is that it's cliche, but it's cliche that we operate and function is the rejection you're afraid of outside is about an nth degree of the rejection you hold inside yourself by not accepting that part of yourself. And so one of the things that I work with, and certainly many of the leaders I'm working with are on this Facebook Live, and they'll say it and then live it, and they take it out to their environments. Be a witness, not a judge.
Oh, I like that.
Be a witness, not a judge. And why we go so clearly, so many times people go to acquire knowledge and information from great coaches, great trainers, and what they do is just take, okay, there's the information, I'm going to pass it through my people. But what they haven't done is they have not internalized it. So this be a witness, not a judge, okay, now you need to be able to do that and not have resistance in your life, resistance in your leadership. Where are the areas of my life that I'm judging myself? Where are the areas that I need to visit and see that it doesn't make me bad, I'm not embarrassed by it, and actually it's a common ground that many leaders don't have when they get the three most critical pieces: humility, vulnerability, and transparency. When leaders do that, they create common ground and they humanize themselves. And I'm going to tell you something. The recruiting situation is game over, because here's the principle is you can't lead another human being until you can lead yourself. And I'm talking about leading yourself to your health and fitness at whatever level that is. Leading yourself to when you wrong someone or don't handle something right, owning it. Leading yourself to the ultimate, I think, growth moment for a leader is taking the mirror that we all have that sits at waist level, and when something isn't working out, moving the mirror up to eye level.
Oh, nice. Look yourself in the face.
Yeah,
Own
right.
it.
Whoops, it's me. My agents are this. Awesome. Everyone's a mirror of you.
Right.
I know, John. Why do I hire you?
All right, so you touched on those 3 points. What are those again?
Oh, so the critical pieces is, gosh, I touched on a whole ton of them.
So humility.
Oh, yes, those 3. Humility, vulnerability, and transparency. And it was the opposite of what I was taught. I mean, I was a young man in 1995 was my first leadership role, and it was look good, sound good, play the part. Well, we know how that turned out. It was a bumpy ride.
So do you think, ego is a huge block of those 3 things, right?
It's massive, and I'd say from an internal perspective, and we talked about this yesterday, because my whole thing is how do we interact with everyone? Because if we can make that emotional connection, ego is our protector.
Right.
And like you're talking about, is ego has its duality. It has its place where it serves us, okay? And it gets us to walk through those doorways of fear. But then ego is our projector. And so from a standpoint of just like fear, use it in your power. Use ego in your power. Use ego at times to take a magic pause and say, wait a minute, I'm full of myself right now. I need to back that down. But use it as an observant, a witness of someone else. When you see someone that's angry or someone that's, puffery, smoke blower, and just like annoying or even rude to you, egomaniac, go to a place of empathy.
Oh, I like that.
Because tone and facial expressions and body language can push us away, and we can go into defend mode. Well, we go into defend mode, we're in conflict and we don't get resolution. But someone in that relationship, whether it's two business owners, whether it's a branch manager and an agent, or it's a team leader and an agent, when one of those two people has gone through the personal work, the commitment to emotional maturity, they can look past it and say, oh, they're not angry. Anger is a secondary emotion. The foundation is fear, because there's only two emotions humans have, love and fear.
Two emotions, love and fear. That right there is super powerful.
That's it.
Super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Because with love, we're giving. With fear, we get fear response, fight, flight, or freeze. None of those three things are productive.
No. Anger shows up when someone's mad at you. They're afraid. And you can, depending on the relationship, depending on the intimacy level, or if sometimes you want to, shock the relationship to serve them. And when someone's getting really upset with you, you take your tone and say, can I ask you something? What are you afraid of?
Ouch.
It's like,
that's a vulnerable question.
It
man.
is.
That's a very vulnerable
right.
question.
Yeah.
So so we've dug deep into our souls here.
Sure.
We've become vulnerable, transparent, exhibiting that humility. Let's transfer that into business growth here.
100%.
What comes to mind when I say, John, I got my heart right. Mm-hmm. I connected it to my head, because you're always talking about connecting the head and the heart. Mm-hmm. How do I turn that into business growth to gather the people in my potential business community, the agents, if I'm a broker owner of a real estate office, the agents that I want to join my office, or if I'm a business owner, say an agent, to gather the consumer so that I can bring them in and help them. How does that translate?
So now how do we bridge that over into the business in a space where we can get results?
Right.
Because we want that too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ultimately, we're trying to make a profit. We're running a business here. But we have to do all these things, and the profit is the result.
Yes. So sometimes it's baptism by fire, because it's someone will come in and they'll tell me what's going on. I says, well, we've got a couple things. I got to get you out of your head and into your heart. And we go through those three critical principles, really: humility, vulnerability, transparency. And now the next action step, or the question and then the action steps behind it, where are the areas? Because when you've got an ego out of the way and you're open and willing, you'll listen, you'll try some things, and you're aware, you will revisit where you revert back to form. You're willing to be held accountable there. Now I can go into the business and I can say, all right, so here's what we need to do. Where are the areas that you're not performing, you're not delivering, and your agents or your staff know you're not? Write them down. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through a process. In the sales meeting, we're going to stand up in front of them and talk about these items. First of all, thank you so much for your continued commitment to me. The single most important thing that I need to do is be a better leader. I've watched my leaders stand up in front of their people and say, hey, when they have me come out and speak or train, first thing I want to talk to you about is our training. And certainly we have John come out quarterly, but that's separate. Our training is failing. I'm responsible for it. I'm not delivering at a high level. I want to let you know that I'm recommitting to it, and I'm open to all of your input and supporting me. You will watch a room change.
You've just taken any complaint that anybody might have and turned it into a an empathetic response. It's amazing.
Well, and there's a principle in that we talked about yesterday, is move towards conflict. And I don't mean where it's something really bad, because we'll talk about what is the, I guess, bad piece, is for leaders to remember this principle. Anything where there's conflict or an open loop in the relationship, close the loop, move towards it, move towards resolution. Because if you don't, and I know there's listeners out there that have some open loops, that have some conflict that's floating around, vapor, if you will, in the environment. If you don't, it will turn into drama.
So let's talk about that term open loop for a second.
Sure.
Because I love this term. This is it's used in marketing. It's used in self-discovery. My perspective, and tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. My perspective of an open loop is I don't have the answer to this question, and as a result, because of a fear-based response, I fill it with the worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have the worst case scenario, I'm functioning defensively as opposed to offensively being in the love manner instead of the fear manner.
Yes.
So for all our listeners out there, we're trying to provide some clarity into these situations, because that answers that question. It files it away in the back of our head. There's no more open loop. There is some surety in their life. There is some confidence, and that leads to happiness and people moving forward with a relationship. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, 100%. And what it is what is the disease, if you will? You've got symptoms and you've got disease. Incompletions
right.
are in that too.
Okay.
Is avoidance.
All right.
Avoidance, not moving towards a completion. It's kind of like we talk about everyone's an innovator, and I say, oh, you're an innovator. So tell me about your consistent this is 2019.
Right.
Tell me about your consistent video initiative. Tell me about your email open rates and subjects lines you've studied where you're getting the highest in the marketing environment gets the highest ROI.
Right.
Tell me about the click-throughs. Oh, those don't work. Oh, I'm going to get around to those. Oh, okay. So you're an avoider or you're an innovator,
right?
So it's all of those things. It's the avoidance of as I was talking about my buddy who played for Belichick,
right?
I want this sexy outcome, but I'm not willing to do the unsexy stuff. Moving towards resolution in a relationship, moving towards a project that you need to get done, but you don't.
Yeah.
And I'm going to mask it. And then what happens is you stack all these things on top of it, and you are now context switching. Because now you're proud that you're a multitasker, but if you've got two things going on, now you're operating at 40% effectiveness on one, 40% effectiveness on others. You've lost 20% effectiveness.
And that keeps diminishing every time you switch back.
Yes. So add another one, another one, and guess what? Well, I don't have I have time management issues. Oh, so you fell into that lie too. No, you don't. You have choice management issues.
Management. I love that. Let's dig deep into that one real quick. We keep mining gold here. I mean, it's another scoop of the shovel, and there's some more gold in that. So choice management. Mm-hmm. What we've got, everybody complains about, I don't have time for that. Warren Buffett has the same 24 hours that we have, and he seems to make some money in the process. Dave Liniger, our co-founder of Remax, that guy has 24 hours in the day. Yeah. The president of the U.S. has 24 hours. The MVP of the Super Bowl has 24 hours in a day. What's the difference between their choices and our choices? Why do we struggle in some of those when it comes to, we always blame it on, I don't have time.
Sure. Well, it's what people, and it's where I go deep, but if people want to know how come, and these people, they do the work by all means, as you know, they were all very, very productive people before I got the opportunity to work with them. So by no means I kind of ride along with them, but what they were already wired to do and have done to get there is to just go deeper. And I walk alongside with them deeper. Is you look at It's a chemical thing that's going on. Oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine. It's how those things hit us. So we're going for the fix. It's an unconscious thing that takes us over. So that's part of the choice management right there.
Okay.
It's the chemical reaction inside our bodies, just like we talked about the head and the heart. You know, I asked everyone yesterday, when you get nervous, what happens? My palms get sweaty. So when you get nervous, well, I stutter, or I forget what I'm going to say, or I faint, or I pass out. Awesome. So, but is that happening in your head, or is it happening in your heart? Because what happened before that? Oh, my heart started racing. Oh, that's right. So the heart's number one job is to bring it back to rhythm so it doesn't release the right hormones for the brain to act.
Interesting. So this is your body's siren going off that something's not right here.
100%, just like the social media piece.
Right.
It's a drug. It's an addiction.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Social media, screen time, people finding something else to do instead of the things that, checking the box with the easy instead of the impactful, instead of the productive.
Mm-hmm. So it's that wanting, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which we talked about too. And this is what's great is, and as I shared with the group yesterday, well, we'll go a little bit of kumbaya, but we're going to go a lot of kumbaya. Well, we're going to go a whole bunch of it, but this is what works. It's everyone out here, and you know this, y'all know how to make money.
Right.
But have you mastered yourself, the human? Because if you, and our life is mastery and understanding what happens physically and psychologically, because I know from the standpoint of where I did well in business as a branch manager, as an agent, as an executive, and then when I had to really take a look at myself and where I was missing in life, and when I had to go deep within myself, everything in my personal and business experience and those that I work with went to a whole other level. Because guess what? It comes back to I can lead people, but we're in the excellence business. Y'all know how to make money, but can you lead yourself here? And once you can lead yourself here and understanding what's going on inside, because everything going on outside in your life, outside in your business, outside meaning your agents you lead, the business part you have starts right in here.
I love this. So I'm gonna wrap this whole thing up and put a bow on it, because
cool.
I mean I took a ton from this. This was truly, and I think everybody out there in social media land and on the podcast can admit, you're gonna have to listen to this one again, because there is more gold in this podcast than you can possibly imagine. Got to get yourself right. Yeah. You get yourself right. You know how to make money in your business. You've done it. I mean, it's happened. But if you get yourself right, your business gets better and better and better, and then you scale yourself. You scale your business. Life is happy.
It's good. It's all good.
Awesome. John Cheplak, thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely.
Start with a win today. I know you start with a win every day. I see you on social media. I'm at the gym. You're at the gym. My best to you and your family and your business and all those that you serve. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you next time on Start with a Win.
Onward, brother. Thank you.